Marcus Sarlander from Berlin. Marcus, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Marcus. I'm a promoter, a DJ and radio show host in Brighton. Been running a night called Berlin in the city for the last 8 years. Also DJ. Been DJing probably the best part of 15 years. Also run 2 radio shows, one New York City based Frisky Radio and one in Brighton called 1BTN.
And are you doing those shows every week?
1BTN's every second and fourth Tuesday of the month, and Frisky is every second Monday of the month, so once a month.
And how often are you running parties in Brighton?
It depends really. Pre-COVID, every month,
Yep.
or at least one or two a month in different venues. Post-COVID, we're sort of run about one a month.
You sort of warming back up into it.
Yeah, and just trying to do lots of different things and just trying to keep it fresh.
Is the summer looking busy?
Yeah, it's busy. It's also busy with bookings. So this month in particular has been really, really busy in terms of bookings. I think I had something like 20 gigs or something this month. So it's been
That's
really, really good.
Gigs, is it?
So it's from my own nights. It's obviously the radio shows.
Yep.
It's also bookings with other nights within the city.
Yep.
So yeah, it's been really good fun. We had some great parties this month.
Do you play out of Brighton as well?
Not at the moment.
Yeah.
There is some things obviously cooking away.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of always playing pretty much every week in Brighton. So it's at one venue or another. So
Amazing. And you, Colin plays with you.
He does.
Copenhagen.
Mr. Copenhagen, yes.
Yeah.
He's been he's it's amazing seeing his journey really. I mean, he got really, really late into DJing and he was coming to our parties about 4 or 5 years ago and really just got sucked into the community of our vibe of the people that come to us. And he started DJing and we kind of took him under my wing. We became really good friends. And since then, I gave him his sort of first gigs with us and he's just gone leaps and bounds ever since. So really amazing seeing his journey and seeing him, develop and grow and having his own radio show as well now. It's amazing.
Oh, he's an amazing guy. Big heart.
He is, absolutely. He loves his music.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Yeah.
So tell us about your music library, your history, and how you organise your tracks and stuff.
So music, I think I was sort of one of the old trance heads in the late 90s and noughties. That's kind of where I started. So that's where my heart kind of was in those days. And then moved very much to the prog scene, Global Underground, Renaissance, all that kind of movement. And then started getting to DJing, and it was quite nice actually because we used to have this. I grew up in the northwest of England, so I was quite lucky to go to a lot of parties in Manchester and Liverpool.
Amazing.
My friends all clubbed together one year and bought me my first pair of decks and started
12 tens.
Say again?
12 tens.
Yeah, there were some Newmarks TT20 or something. They were, vinyl. Absolutely loved them. I still have them because I'm just so attached to them, and they're still to this day so smooth and so nice and such a great.
Still play them?
Yeah, still play them. Yeah,
amazing. That's so cool.
And there's just a little bit of nostalgia attacked to it with a big old Behringer mixer, the entry level, which is a complete copy of the Pioneer. But
yeah, right.
But yeah, that was kind of my little entry setup back in the day, and played a lot of vinyl to start with. Then I went a bit housey, and then kind of got into sort of the techno, and then kind of back into prog, or as it's now known, melodic house and techno.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's kind of where I sit. So deep house, that kind of sound, deep house, melodic techno house, and progressive. That's kind of where I sit there. So anything with a melody and a journey. Yeah, something you can build from nothing, and it just takes people on a lovely little journey.
And your nights are all about the journey, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. It's the nights are really curated with a strong resident lineup, and then obviously a headliner. But it's very much curated in the right way in terms of progressing through the night. And yeah, absolutely.
So how are you finding your new tracks? Do you use Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud?
Well, I guess I did a lot of promos. So I'm very, very lucky. So I use In Flight a lot, Fat Drop. Promo push. I get quite a lot of other promos from some of the other like Amp Suite and those kind of other ones. There's another one as well. The name fails me. So I'm very lucky to get a lot of promos. But if I do go and buy tracks, it's pretty much Beatport. It's Tracksource. Those kind of areas. And I have some of my libraries set up in record label format.
Oh, no way. Cool. Yeah. Tell us about that.
So the reason for that is one of the radio shows I do is called the Berlin Radio Show. So feature a lot of fresh music that comes out of Berlin or Germany or from German artists. It's in line with the event. It's also called Berlin. So Over the years, I've sort of sourced all the record labels from across the world, and still sticking with my iTunes library as well, because you can have the visual, because I kind of love the visual element of music. So the view in the iTunes library is set to view, so you can see all the artworks.
Is that the one where you can sort of slide them across?
No, it's just so you've got, instead of having the list of tracks,
Yeah.
you just have the artwork of the tracks.
Yeah, okay,
and
right.
you click on, let's say, Compact, and it'll have all the tracks I've had from Compact over the years sitting in there.
Yeah.
And it's just visually quite nice. It's kind of, being an old vinyl head and having the actual physical artwork.
Yeah.
Piece of vinyl is kind of a bit geeky.
I mean, that is one of the things that a number of people have mentioned that is sort of missing from the digital side. Is yes, you've got the artwork, but sometimes it's so tiny and you just can't quite, especially if you're a visual person, you can't quite feel your library in the same way.
Yeah, and I just love it sometimes as well. It's a bit like when you go into one of the record labels. I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head. But you kind of go in, and there's particular labels that have all the same artwork but just slightly different color.
Right.
So if you,
It's branded, basically.
So if you think about, let's say, remember the old Euphoria compilations? Having those
And Renaissance,
and you kind of have all the artwork there. Kind of the Euphoria was always a change of color, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So just seeing it visually there is quite a nice way.
Yeah. So do you store everything in iTunes?
iTunes. What else do I use? So I use Rekordbox. Pretty much those are kind of my two core ones that I use. I don't really do much with Spotify yet. So
do you have Rekordbox integrating with iTunes, pulling in from iTunes?
yes, I've got that, and obviously I get a lot of promos. With straightforward WAVs and what have you, and I just put them straight into Rekordbox.
When you get promos, do they come with the metadata, or is it sometimes a bit of a mess?
Hit and miss, really. It's quite nice sometimes when everything comes up and you can kind of see it, and it's always quite nice as well when you see it on the CDJ. It says delivered by in-flight. That's quite nice as well. But sometimes the metadata is all a bit scrambled, and you have to then rewrite it a little bit, and so you can order it in the right way. And so it's not completely scrambled.
Do you like sorting things out by genre? So you said by label. Sorry, you were saying by label. So if you're looking for a track, are you going in by, I know what that label is, and then going and find it?
Pretty much. So I do it very much by the label. Also, I have various other setups in terms of genre music. So Afro House and Afrobeat has been a massive genre that's been the last sort of 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Lots of it coming out of Berlin as well. That kind of whole new disco sound is really coming back, that kind of 80s synth and that kind of, Italo disco sound, but lots of that coming out of Berlin as well. So I have kind of those folders as well. So, I get a lot of promos in those different genres as well that aren't.
And so with your downloaded tracks, are you using the key analysis in Rekordbox?
Yeah, I use some elements of it, but sometimes I'm just a little bit old school, especially with the radio shows, and I curate. I know a lot of DJs who just go and just pick a few tracks and then just play.
Yeah.
Like for me, when I do the radio show, it's properly curated from start to finish. Even if I'm there till 2-3 in the morning the night before, I'll make sure it's
so you'll
properly
put
curated.
together the full set.
Correct, with some altercations in terms of if I'm not feeling it, I'll change it up a little bit.
Generally speaking, you'll follow you'll put together a set, you'll follow it.
In terms of genres, I always start with something electronic. Always a nice little intro track, something a little bit electronica, then into deep house, then kind of maybe a little bit of prog, then kind of melodic techno, and then I have a few techno bangers in there. And I always say on the show, there's always a happy ending.
Nice.
So we always have like a really nice happy track at the end.
Of course, yeah.
So and that's kind of the format of the show, and that's just kind
of course
the journey.
With a radio show, you haven't got a live crowd, so there's not so much feeling the vibe. It's more curated.
And
it's nature.
But it's quite nice. So the radio shows are very different. So Frisky is a pre-record, and that just goes out with no commentary, whereas 1BTN is live. So we've got the forum on the website. People can get involved, and people quite a lot
text you and
got quite a lot of loyal listeners and lots of followers that come to events, that come and chat. And we used to live stream. So I was on a different station previously to 1BTN, which was Trickstar Radio, and we used to live stream every week.
Yeah.
And that was fun because we got loads of interaction in terms of Facebook, and and that was really, really interactive. But you kind of found you're sort of pulled away from
the music.
Playing, yes.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that,
It's very distracting.
Yeah, because you're replying to people and
going, oh my God, yes. And it's really nice.
Yeah.
Because you're in a deep, dark
studio. But it's pulling you back to the computer.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, cool. And how do you, when you're going to play out, Are you building your sets in a similar kind of way,
Yeah, so
or a bit more freestyle, like tracks you want to play? But
it depends on the gig, really. Generally, I'll always put a set together, again, start to finish, but I will always have about 3 or 4 different avenues we could go down. So, because you never quite know, especially if it's not your own gig, you have various different avenues to go down. So I've always got like 5 USBs,
yep,
and various different avenues to go down. But yeah, we'll just sort of see. But generally, there's always a set list that I'd like to play.
yep,
But yeah, but I'm very much a people's DJ in the way that I don't play what I want. I play to the dance floor. So I watched what people do. I watch how they react to the tracks, and I just curate it based on them, not me. And I think that's key. A lot of people just go out and just smash out
what they want to play.
yeah, what they want to play, and that's not what it's about. It's about the people that walk through the door, and you're there to enjoy it together. So
100%, 100%. And so do you set cue points in Record Box, or do you?
Not so often. Like I say, I'm very much a little bit on the fly with that.
Yeah.
So very much everything by my ear and touch. Still, bit of a techno.
So you don't really need to worry about the beat grid if you're doing everything by ear.
Yeah, I do pretty much do everything by ear and touch. So I'm just very, very old school like that, and I'm just a bit of a dinosaur. So, but I just love that element. I love hearing that mix come in.
Do you do long transitions?
Yeah, quite long. Obviously, being melodic techno and organic house, or as it's called now, it's deep house really, or progressive. You tend to have quite a lot of long progressions or transitions. Yeah. So,
yeah.
But yeah, love it.
Cool. You do love it, don't you?
Yes, I love it. So it got me all excited.
I love it. Oh, thanks so much for talking to us, Marcus. What's your Insta for Berlin?
So it's berlin.brighton on Instagram, obviously Facebook, Berlin Brighton. Come and find us, and there's a website as well. All the W's, berlin-brighton.com.
Amazing. Thanks so much for talking to us, Marcus.
Thanks for having me.
Other Marcus.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, bud. Really nice to meet you, dude.